Good morning, my beautiful ones, and welcome Friday the 13th. Yes, this is probably the latest I've ever been on here, but I couldn't resist. I just finished watching a live feed from my favorite Prince of Darkness, Morg, my favorite freak from Venice Freak Show. Well, he has some valid points, and I can't totally disagree with him on some things. But there's one thing that I hold differently in opinion. That's enlightenment through lust. Darling, lust is all well and good. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a good, healthy dose of it. But if you truly want to reach enlightenment through sexual activity and be one with your sexuality, then you need to connect with your partner, not just on the physical level, but on the mental level and the emotional level. You have to heighten the senses. Sensuality, that is the key. You see, sensuality is not just animalistic lust and basic urges. It's a more elegant way of viewing sex. Yes, I'm going to talk about sex. And yes, I know it's almost everybody's favorite subject. But I want to make it really clear to you how I see sex. I will not deny that I've had a promiscuous past. That there are times I live for the moment and not for the connection. But that's not really the way to go. Over the years, through all my experience, I have learned that sensuality can lead to a far better connection. Sensuality combined with an emotional attachment makes sex less basic and more extraordinary. Because feeling your partner physically, oh, there's nothing wrong with that, honey. Feeling them physically is a nice thing. But you got to be able to understand them emotionally, too. You got to know, or at least have an idea, of what they want. Or even if you want to, you can give them a different fantasy than the one they've already created in their own mind. It doesn't matter who your partner is. Man, woman, vagina, penis. It makes no difference. Even if you don't have to be man and woman to make that kind of sensual connection. You can be both male or both female. It's not about the physical. It's about the soul, the heart, the emotional. Brainless lust or straight up fucking, okay. If that's what you like, that's your choice. But the thing is, if you want to take it in your own head to make things more pleasurable for you and your partner, then connect to them in every level possible. You know, understand them, help them understand you. You can fulfill their fantasies if you want. Sure, that's all well and good. But what about your fantasies? What do you want? I have spoken once about how I think sex should be between two people who care about each other. And I won't deny I still believe that. Because to me, mindless lust and no connection is cold. There's no feeling, there's nothing there but physical release. While sensuality and love making are far different. Now, you're probably wondering what I mean by sensuality. Best way to explain that, my beautiful ones, is sensuality is about touch. It's about using all senses, not just, well, the lower part. It's about touching your partner in all the right places to turn them on. Every human has erogenous spots. Some spots where you can turn them on sexually. For some, it's the ears. For some, it's the neck. Others, the breasts, if you're a woman, or even if you're a man, even the nipples are really sensitive. Also, other erogenous spots besides the normal are your thighs. Your thighs, it's more of a sensual act because you're not in there directly between your legs, but you're leading into that area, which the anticipation of oral sex, well, it can turn a person on as much as the act itself. Being sensual means not just throwing them on the bed and having your way. It means learning, listening, growing, as my dear Morg did say. If you want to make things more interesting for you and your partner, or something more combining, blindfold yourself or blindfold them. Touch different spots on their body, whether it's the erogenous spot or not. Light some beautifully scented candles. Turn off all the harsh light. And use shadow play. You see, if they're blind or you're blind, you can't see them. You don't know what they're going to do to you. And the anticipation builds. And every gentle touch, every feather-like kiss, every bit they touch, without going straight for the genital parts or the breasts, feel your way. Don't just grab them, say, I want you, and go at it. Feel your way around their body. Get to know it. Let them get to know yours. Touch them any way you can. The spine is a particular sensitive spot for some people. It can tickle or it can turn you on. It depends on who you are. Lust is a lovely thing, but I don't think it really gets to the right type of level of sexuality. I agree with Morg, yes. Be bold in your sexuality. Explore it. Learn it. And sensuality is a good way to do it. Learn your body. Learn their body. Show them you care. Make them laugh. Make them feel comfortable. If you know your person you're with has never done it before, be gentle. Be kind. Find a way to make everything comfortable for them. While, yes, the first time is disagreeable and it is quite, painful or uncomfortable depending on who you are. If a person is not properly prepared for their first time, it's going to be even worse on both of you. My first partner and I were not prepared at all, and it was bad on both of us because neither one of us got anything out of it except trouble. In my case, pain. In his case, he didn't get any kind of orgasm, and neither did I. Be comfortable with your partner. Be gentle. Be careful. I mean, yeah, there are going to be times, if they're an experienced partner, that they're going to want it rough and, they're going to want it then and there and just snap at the moment and say, oh, let's do this. Hey, spontaneity is awesome because it keeps your love life spicy. There are many people who are trapped in dull marriages because they lost the spice in the honeymoon section of the marriage, which is probably the first 2 years. They've lost the inclination or the desire to be with their partner, whether it's because they're stressed out, tired, or bored. If their partner's always the same and doesn't change their actions or the way of doing things, you grow cold and you don't want them anymore. Half the time, actually most of the time, that feeling is what leads people to stray. It's what leads to adultery and broken marriages, because we are pleasure seekers by nature. Yes, I agree with Morg on that too. We are pleasure seekers by nature. And if we lose that pleasure, then we're going to seek it out elsewhere. even if it's with a completely different partner. I've gone through the process myself to where I was bored with one partner and I decided I didn't want him anymore. So I went and found a new one before or after I broke up with him, depending on how bad things got. You've got to keep your love life spicy. You can't just connect on a physical level. That doesn't really work. You have to feel your heart, your emotions. You have to feel the love. That is what keeps everything strong and balanced. As Morg said, you can't be all light and love. Sometimes you've got to be shadow. And yes, giving into some of your darker parts. Everybody has a darker part of their nature. We're human. We have a dark and a light side, an angel and a devil. If we give always to the angel and never to the devil, things just come apart. You got to be true to yourself, whether it's the good or the bad. You also have to accept yourself, good or the bad. My past isn't pretty, and it took me this long to accept it and to understand that this was lessons learned and that I've become a better person from that girl I was. It took me almost 20 years to understand that. I let my guilt and shame get to me. I let my Christian upbringing deal in my subconscious, and I shouldn't have. Christianity has its place. People have their beliefs. That's fine by me. You believe what you want. But don't throw it at other people. And don't try to push someone to convert or change when they don't want to. Don't be a hypocrite who wants to be good on Sundays and bad every other day. And then there's those ones who try so hard to push towards the good, so hard. They end up breaking themselves or hurting themselves or finding no satisfaction or happiness in life. You have to embrace your light with your dark. I have only begun my process of embracing the darker side of me. It began when I started changing my style. I started darkening my hair. I started wearing black clothes, heavy makeup. When I started becoming the unique queen, that's when I started pushing my shadow as well as my light together. Because I can't be one without the other. Just like the universe has light and dark, so does a human. And just like the universe, the light and dark keeps us balanced. If we fall all the way into the dark side, things don't always turn out very pretty. As a matter of fact, you can go too far. If you go all the way to the light side, your life is going to literally suck. Because you're trying to be all goody-goody two-shoes when all you want to do is break out of the norm. When you want to do something spontaneous and unbelievable. Well, that applies to sex. You need to break out of the norm and not just do the usual thing. Because then you lose the spice of life, your relationship suffers. People go and seek other partners because they can't find what they want where they are. They need to find something else and seek it out. We are imperfect by nature. Perfect is simply a concept, not a truth. Perfect does not exist. Perfect is not going by social norms, following all the rules, letting others dictate your life. That's not perfect. Being perfect is being who you are, being true to yourself and not denying yourself or forcing yourself to hide. Don't hide who you are because other people tell you that's not what you're supposed to be. There are many homosexuals who in the past have hidden their different desires, their differing nature, because they were afraid of what society would say. They were scared that society would condemn them and they would be thrown out into the cold and exiled. They feared society's opinion. And so they hid themselves behind a mirror or someone of the opposite gender, using them as a mask or an illusion. My love, fuck illusion. You are not fake. Don't try to be. Being fake is only going to get you so far. And in the end, you're going to hurt yourself and hurt others. You must always accept every part of who you are. Never let anyone else tell you who you are, tell you what to do. If you're gay, fine. If you like the dick, if you like the pussy, who cares? And yes, my sailor's mouth has come out. And, well, I offer no apology. I am me, no apology, no excuse. I shouldn't have to say sorry for staying true to who I am. I have the mouth of a sailor, the manners of a lady, the heart of the dragon, and the soul of a poet. I am all these things. I am what I call a beautiful contradiction. I am not always the same way twice. A lot of everything I say on here is not always planned. Sometimes just pops out unexpectedly. That's me just being me. I naturally become random and drive off on tangents because I have a lot to say. For years, I have not said anything. It's not because I didn't have anything to say. It's because I was afraid to say it. I was afraid of what society would believe. I was afraid of what others would think. I was scared of controversy. I was trying to fit in. Don't. Fitting in is no fun. Who wants to be a sheep when you can be a wolf? Let yourself fly. Embrace all that you are. Going back to the subject of sex, sex is fine. Sex is great. Lust is healthy. But it can only sometimes lead to a temporary release. It can't truly satisfy you. It may satisfy you physically, but emotionally, it'll leave you cold. And yes, I will repeat that because it is a truth. You want to feel your partner in every way you can. Just like the concept of soulmates, two people that share one soul. They don't just share one soul, honey. They share one mind and one body as well. They are opposites of each other. We have soulmates to balance ourselves. Everything we are, our soulmate is not. Everything our soulmate is, we are not. Our flaws can make up for theirs. Balance. A good relationship, whether it's a marriage, boyfriend, girlfriend, even family relationships. If you cannot balance each other out and find common ground, or at least compromise, then things can get very, very difficult. Balance yourself. Look for that person you know will balance out who you are. I've already got an idea of who my soulmate is. And yes, he is very different from me. Whereas I am the bold and unique queen, he's a down-home country kind of guy. He's a small-town boy who doesn't really have much on dreams or ideas. And if he does have them, he doesn't speak of them. I'm not sure if he is who I'm looking for. The only thing I know is that when I'm with him, I feel like I'm all there. Like every part of me that has been kind of hidden or I've felt like I lost. When I'm with him, I feel it come back to me. When I'm away from him, I miss him every day. We have been with each other from the toughest times to the best. We have been each other's balm when the world went wrong. That's what a soulmate is. Someone who has differences from you, but those differences can balance your relationship. They can equal you out, make you complete. I'm bold and daring. He's not. At least not really. He needs a little encouragement sometimes. But sometimes that's who you are. Soulmates are people, your partners, whether they're your soulmate or not. They need to balance you out. Only when you balance out can not only you be complete, but your relationship complete. There's going to be fights. There's going to be difficulties. No relationship is healthy without a fight or two. Just don't let them get violent to a point where one of you is hurting the other. That's the time when you need to walk away, and that's the time when you lose balance. Be calm, sit down, talk about it. The biggest problem in relationships, besides the lost sex drive and the boredom, is communication. Your partner isn't always going to tell you what you need to know. He's not going to tell you, or she is not going to tell you if something's wrong. Maybe they keep it to themselves because they don't want to worry you. Or maybe they think it's just their problem to deal with and you don't need to be in it. There are times many people will do that. They will hide some truth from you because they're afraid of hurting you, or they're afraid that you're going to worry about them and they don't want you to. But being like that, you lose communication. You get to a point where neither one of you understands the other anymore. You become different people from the people you fell in love with and married. Don't lose that. Communicate. Gain an understanding of each other. Accept each other's flaws and each other's good points. That's the only way you're ever going to make it work. Same with sexuality. If you're more experienced than your partner, share your knowledge with them. Help them gain what you have. Help them understand how you feel, or make them feel what you feel. Touch, taste, eyes, ears. Don't just throw them down and go at it. Sit them down. Keep your clothes on or wear something sexy but not completely revealing. Give them a temptation, a promise of what's to come. Touch their erogenous spots. Touch other spots. Make them feel alive. Ask them what they want. And if you can give it, give it. If you can't, then they should be understanding of that. Make them feel like they are cherished, like they are as important to you, your body, as make them feel like they're as important to you as, well, you are to them. Make them feel like you're connecting in all balances. Lust without affection, well, it can break your heart or hurt you or turn your heart to stone, depending on how you look at it. Gain an understanding each other. Push your limits. Hell, go beyond your limits if you can. As long as neither one of you comes to harm, there should be no problem. Sensuality, there are so many ways to do it. I'm sure many of you have heard of temperature play because that's kind of a favorite of a lot of people. Ice on hot skin. Or if you're cold, a warm touch on cold skin. Some people like candle wax, which I wouldn't recommend it because it's painful, because it can burn. Experiment with other sexual ideas. Role play is a popular one. Watching porn together, that's another one. Trying different tricks like Jell-O or pudding or whipped cream or all the other sexy stuff you've heard about. Food play is another thing people like. Me, no. I'm rather uncomfortable with it. Jell-O, give or take. I've had the experience. Sometimes it's pleasant. It's just like oral sex with with a taste lubricant, with a lubricant that has a taste to it, say strawberry, raspberry, whatever it is. Scents, different scents can bring out the sexuality. Again, the 5 senses, all of them. If your man smells like a spicy cologne that you thoroughly enjoy, that you absolutely love, it can turn you on because the chemicals in the perfume can affect your pheromones. And pheromones, by the way, are the natural little hormones in your system that call out to your partner in sex. Kind of like an animal thing, I suppose. Scent is a very powerful mechanism. Your nose is not just there for smelling some things. It's not just there for trouble. It's not just there to be pretty. Use it. If your man likes a certain, or woman likes a certain perfume on you, or a certain cologne on you, wear it for them. One of the things I did was my ex-man had a certain sports team that he liked. So, for his birthday, I bought him a whole new comforter set for his bed. And then I hid in the bedroom and I completely stripped down to nothing but my underwear and a ball cap that had his favorite team on it. The moment he saw me completely bare with that cap on and his new things, he went crazy. He loved it. So gain an understanding of your partner's likes and dislikes. Certain colors. Again, the eyesight. Some men like their women in black. Some like their women in pink or white. Some like them in different kinds of costumes. A nurse or an anime character or a schoolgirl or a cheerleader. Whatever tickles your fancy. That's up to you. Some people like BDSM. They find pain to be an erotic pleasure. Me, no. But to each their own. I will not disagree with any of your choices. If you enjoy it, then you enjoy it. Whatever turns you on, whatever gets you off, do it. I know a lot of males who like having a woman rake, or male, whatever gender your partner is, they like it when you rake your nails down their back. I mean, I had a lot of ex-boyfriends and lovers who loved it when a woman raked her nails down their back. And I mean, not in a way that'll break skin, although some do like that. In a way that just leaves scratches. I mean, I broke the skin several times. But you don't always have to do that. You can do it in a gentle way. I know girls who, if you play with their hair, or you massage their neck, or other bits and pieces, it's a sensual thing to them. It'll make them relax and feel comfortable. Massages are awesome. I love massages. Because a massage relaxes your entire body. It's a part of the sensual experience. It makes you feel relaxed and calm to where you are willing to do anything possible. Being tense in sex isn't comfortable. Matter of fact, if you're tense, it's going to hurt and be disagreeable to you. You have to relax yourself outside and in. You have to allow your body just to give way to what it needs. Allow your energy to flow. Allow your emotions to flow. If you're in love with your partner, show them. Kiss them, love them, do whatever you can to make them happy. Make them laugh. Make them comfortable. Make the experience pleasurable for both of you, not just you, not just them. I've known males who are greedy lovers. They care more about their own pleasure than they do the pleasure of their partner. Wrong. No. If you have a partner, if you are having sex, you must be considerate of yourself, but also of your partner. or else the sex is useless. Because if your partner can't feel anything, they're not going to want to do anything again with you, because they're going to feel disconnected from you. They're going to feel that the only thing you care about is getting off, that you don't care about giving them any pleasure. I mean, I've been with males who are very considerate lovers. They do all they can to please a girl and get her off before they take their own. There are some males who will strip a girl completely bare but leave their pants on and give the girl all the pleasure they can share, whether it's their hands or their mouth. And when they feel that when she has her own orgasm or when she's close, only then do they strip off the rest of their clothes and start their own pleasure. They're considerate of their partners. They're careful. They make sure that their partner enjoys it just as much as they do. And in any relationship, sexual or otherwise, give and take. If he gives you oral sex, then yeah, it's fair to give him oral sex. But there are other times where some people are uncomfortable with oral sex, whether they're the giving or the taking. Not all of us feel really comfortable with it because we feel kind of like, this is kind of embarrassing. We feel too open. Or in some cases, we have a physical reaction in our body that rejects the idea of oral sex. I have what is called a gag reflex. I get anything near my lips that isn't food or drink, and I gag. That's why giving male oral sex is not a good idea for me. It makes me uncomfortable. Even if he likes it, I don't. Because it makes me feel sick. And no offense, none at all. If you like it, you like it. If you can do it, do it. I know girls love to deep throat. Guys like to deep throat. If you can, go right ahead. But there are sometimes people have physical limits. Like with some of my partners. They were considerate of the fact that my body is in bad shape. My knees and back have both been injured. So being on top in sex can be uncomfortable for me because my knees don't like it. So they put me into a position where I can still feel everything, but I'm not putting as much pressure on the parts of me that are broken or in pain. There are others, that experience things like that. It's not something to be ashamed of. It's not really something to be embarrassed about. If you have a physical disability, then make sure your partner knows. That way they can work around your disability so that you enjoy things and you're not interrupted by pain or discomfort because your body is putting pressure on a part it doesn't want. Don't ever try to force your partner either. If your partner cannot do that kind of thing, if they have a physical limit that they can't do, don't push. Because the more you push, the angrier they'll get. The more upset they'll get. And the more they'll feel like you don't respect them or can't accept everything about them. If you cannot accept the ups and downs or the physical limitations of your partner, then you have no right to have that partner. You have to accept everything about them. Whether it's a physical disability, an emotional difficulty. I know there are women who've been in abusive relationships where their male beat the living shit out of them. Men too. Getting intimate with someone else too soon after that experience, they'll be terrified. They'll be horrified because they don't know what to do. And they're scared of you because they're still remembering the psychological damage from the last person that abused them. If you have a partner like that, you have to accept that about them. And what you need to do is help them through it. Don't back down. Don't go running scared. If they have a problem, help them solve it. Help them through it. Don't just run away because you can't handle it, because you don't have the time or the patience to deal. If your partner has any kind of problems, you have to accept everything. You can't just accept the good. You got to accept the bad too. compromise. A relationship will never work if you can't understand each other better, if you can't accept each other's difficulties and flaws. Don't ever push for something you know your partner cannot do, or you know will hurt your partner or scare them, because then you'll lose your partner. They'll never want to be with you again because they fear you. You must help them through it, accept them, don't reject them. I understand that it's difficult. I've been there, to where I had a friend of mine that was constantly passing out on me because he had a heart condition. And it scared the living lights out of me. And I dealt with it for a while, but eventually it got to a point to where I couldn't do it anymore because it got too painful, and I chose to leave instead of stay. Don't make that choice. I loved my friend. I adored him. We hung out together, ran around together for 2 years, in and out of Disney parks, in and out of hot tubs and swimming pools. Jason Baruki, I've mentioned him before. You know, I've always felt ashamed of myself and guilty because of the fact that I walked away from him, because I couldn't handle it. Because it's one thing to faint on me once every couple of days or once a day, but it's another to faint on me every 5 minutes. Well, in that time it was. Nowadays, I can handle it a lot better. I have more training. The military has taught me many things, plus my education in psychology. I'm ready to accept any flaws my friends or partners have. Yes, it'll be difficult to work around those flaws or difficulties. If they have a physical problem or if they have a mental problem, I am willing to stand by them and help them. It ain't easy. Lord knows it takes a toll on your heart to see it, because it hurts every day. When you see your friend going through that or your partner suffering, you hurt. And eventually it gets so painful that even you have to walk away sometimes. Oh, you can walk away, take a breather, take a break, do whatever you want. Go smoke, go drink. But come back with a clearer mind or a better mind and a better patience to accept things. Don't let certain conditions stop you from loving someone unconditionally. That's exactly what unconditionally means. You love them no matter what their flaws, their disabilities, or their problems. That is who you're supposed to be. Don't ever push for something you know your partner can't do, whether it's sexual or otherwise. I mean, everybody has a different mindset. Every one of us has a hard wiring to our brains. Some males, naturally, they don't really see sensuality as a thing. Some men don't. Some women don't. Male or female, some only want sex for the basic urge that it is. They'd rather settle their lustful urge and walk away than develop any kind of connection, because to them, that's more exciting. It's more exciting just to screw your partner and walk away. It's fine. They find more pleasure in that. I don't. Even back in my promiscuous days, I really found no pleasure in that. All I found was guilt and shame for it. And yes, a lot of that, like I said, was based on my Christian life. But it was also based on the fact that I am an emotional creature by nature. I'm extremely sensitive. And I do get attached. It takes a while for me to get attached to something or someone. I have an emotional blockage. Not unusual. But I'm taking my time and working through it. I have ran out of my taste for that, sex in the moment. I have ran out of my taste for that. Nowadays, all I truly want to do is seduce a man with sensuality. I want to seduce a man, not just take him over and bang him, or vice versa. I want to be able to connect to him on a physical as well as an emotional and mental level. To reach enlightenment, lust really isn't the way, but seduction and sensuality are. Because those heighten your senses. They expedite and move things to a process that's much more giving. Lust, like I said, nothing wrong with it. I ain't got none against it. But it's not always satisfying to people. It may be to some people, like they want to live in the moment and screw whoever and then walk away. Because that's exciting to them. That's thrilling. That turns them on. But I'm not that person. I prefer seduction and sensuality. Candles, touch, heightened senses. I'll even go as far as blindfolds and handcuffs. Because sometimes the suspense of not being able to touch your partner builds up the sexual tension. It builds it to an exploding point to where it makes the sex more enjoyable, more pleasurable, and literally exploding. I am a teacher. I am a creature of the senses. Touch, taste, hear, smell, sight. I am just that kind of person. I find seduction, sensuality, a better path to enlightenment. I mean, even in the Kama Sutra, the world's most famous and oldest sex book in existence, the Kama Sutra is not just about different positions you can have sex in. It's about connecting on a spiritual level with your partner. That's a lot of times what the Kama Sutra was created for. So you could touch base with your partner both physically, mentally, and emotionally, and spiritually. You could feel your soul opening up and accepting things. That's what it was all about. They had it right. Sex is good. Lust is all right. Desire and seduction, however, are far more pleasurable and far more enlightening. They'll open your eyes to some magnificent ideas. And you can get as creative as you want. Like I said, handcuffs, blindfolds, candles, mood lights. Set the mood. Play the right kind of music. Whether it's a list of bump and grind kind of songs or a list of sexual songs that talk about sex but are on a gentle, more sensual level. Like I can name songs actually that vary on both. Tae Young from Big Bang, his song Naked. That song was about momentary lust. Like you said, I can't give you the love you want, but we can still have fun. That song was about sex in the moment, not an emotional tie. It was just about, getting it on and that's it. However, his song Take It Slow was a sensual song about taking it easy in love making you feel right, making him feel right, putting the mood in the right area. That's only two of them, and not just from him. There are other songs like Kim Jae-joon's song Kiss B. Yes, I've always wondered what he meant by Kiss B. But he talks about temperature play in that song, about stripping down, getting naked, but also, enjoying the thrill of the chase, the thrill of the slowness of removing the clothing. And I admit, Kiss Me is one of my favorites. I absolutely love that. I also love Naked and Take It Slow. Both great, all great songs. Gact song, Vanilla. That's just outright about sex. He'll be your vanilla and let you he'll have fun with you. But like I said, there are songs that are built for sensuality, others that are written for animalistic sex. That's all about lust and not about love. When you love someone and your emotions are involved, it goes from being sex to becoming lovemaking, to where you guys are loving each other physically. Because to me, sex is the ultimate act of love. Not committing suicide, not committing murder, not marriage. The circle of love is complete by making love. It starts out with the innocent parts of your relationship, your first few months, getting to know each other, getting to understand each other personally, getting to, see your flaws, your good parts, those parts, getting to see everything that you're made of. And all of this, I mean, you can start with just holding hands, kissing, and keep progressing onward through first base, second base, and then go into sex as the final chapter. Because a relationship should go a complete circle. It should not be, oh, let's have sex and then we'll think about everything else. A relationship should be, you start out talking, getting to know each other on a mental as well as emotional level, and just building up to the final act, which is sex. Well, it goes from sex to lovemaking, because now you're worshiping each other with your bodies, and you're loving each other in the ultimate way to show how you feel. And to me, that's what sex and lovemaking are all about. Feeling your way, understanding your partner in every way, shape, and form. Don't just get physical, get spiritual. Show him that you care, or her. Show him or her that you care. Show them that you want them in every way possible, no matter what your flaws are or what you see as imperfect about yourself. Whether you have body image issues, or because you've been through a hard time and you're not sure how to respond to new things. I mean, there are some people who've just done pure lust all this time, and then all of a sudden they love somebody and it becomes lovemaking, and they're not sure how to respond because they've never experienced it before. So to them, it's a new concept, a new idea. And yeah, the newness does wear off. But keep it spicy. Keep trying. Find different ways to please each other. Like I already mentioned. Role play, temperature play, food play. Spontaneity. Just like say, and like spontaneity, like some of the best thing way I see as spontaneous, say your woman's in the kitchen, or your man, and they're doing dishes, cooking or cleaning. Just slip up on them and start kissing them, or massaging their back, or doing something that makes them feel better if they're not feeling well, or if they're not happy. Do it in the kitchen. Make love in the kitchen. Because let's face it, folks, having sex in just a bed can get boring. But having sex in different locations, like a kitchen, an office, a car, the living room, the garage, the backyard. Although I highly hope that if you do it in the backyard, you have a fence up so no one can see you. Because you might get busted for indecent exposure. So I would highly recommend, if you're going to do it in the back, make sure you have a private spot where nobody can see you. Unless, of course, you're the voyeuristic type. Well, not voyeuristic, but the exhibitionist type. Exhibitionists like to have sex in public places where people can see them. It gives them an extra thrill to know that people are watching them. It turns them on further and further. Voyeurs are those who watch others have sex because it turns them on. All of us who watch pornography, we're voyeurs. We like watching others have sex and it turns us on. Okay. Whatever floats your boat, baby. Whatever you choose. Change things up. Make things different. If you're always wearing the same kind of clothes to bed, take a night where you wear a different set. You wear cute lingerie, or you wear nothing at all. Or if your man comes home or woman comes home from work, be in the kitchen with an apron on and nothing more. That's another spontaneous turn on. There are different ways to make your sex life more interesting. Try them. Like I said, not everybody's for everything. Not everybody likes oral sex. Not everybody likes anal sex. Believe me, I can't stand it. But there are others who enjoy it, and that's your thing. Change up your positions. Doggy style one day, missionary another, or any other more creative positions I don't know the names for. Woman on top, man on top, backwards cowgirl, 69. Whatever makes your sex life more interesting and more awakening, that is what you do. Yes, like I said, I'll stick to my seduction and sensuality. I prefer it. I don't like the brutal, just lust, bang, bang, here you go thing. I prefer the gentle anticipation and the touches and the affection, letting them know in all ways that I want you. People with body issues. If your partner likes you the way you are, then try to accept the way you are. If you want to change it, sure, that's up to you. Be who you are, not who everybody else wants you to be. If you want to change it, but don't do it for anyone but you. If your partner has those kind of issues, let them know that you like everything about them. It doesn't matter whether they have small boobs or, they have a little bit of a belly on them, or if they have a flat ass or a bubble butt, depending on who you are. Let them know you love every part of them. That way it makes them feel more secure, and it turns them on. It makes them feel like they're wanted. And that's all any of us ever want, is to feel like we are wanted, that we are desired. Show yourself. Be confident. If your partner doesn't want to be bold, or the new crush you've got doesn't want to be bold enough to approach you, approach them. Bold, stand out. Say, hi, I like you. Want to talk? Don't go, let's go have sex immediately. No. Talk. Get to know each other. Maybe you'll find the point of interest that will make things seem like you're meshing well. And it could lead into a very good relationship. You just have to be careful of who you choose. Because not everybody that's a jackass is going to appear to be a jackass. Some of them put on the face of Prince Charming, while inside they're the devil incarnate. Matter of fact, many abusers are like that. They'll put on the charm, the seduction, they say all the right things, do all the right things. But the moment they know that you can't turn away from them, or the moment they know you can't walk away from them, the darker side of their personality emerges. And you begin to see the evil in them and the abusive part of their nature. Everybody has a light and dark side, like I said, but some give more to the dark than they do the light. Some give more to the light than they do the dark. You have to balance it out, or you will become a monster. Or you'll become someone you hate or others hate. You have to balance yourself. Don't give all to the dark. Don't give all to the light. Find a happy medium and stick with it. All right? Now let me reiterate my points. Lust is okay, but I don't see it as a way to enlightenment. Sensuality and seduction are more enlightening because they feed the physical, but they also feed the emotional and the mental. Love everything about your partner. Accept everything about them. Sex and lust are fun. Some like it one way, some like it another. If your partner can't do something, don't try to force them to do it. Because if you force them to do it, they'll either be afraid of you or they'll hate you and they'll walk away. So accept everything. If they can't do it, don't push. Back off and say, okay, let's try this your way. Or let's do this a different way. Don't ever try to force someone to do what they don't want to do. It only leads to hatred and eventual disentanglement to where you're going different ways and you no longer want to be part of each other's lives. Don't do that. Find a happy medium and balance it out. Everyone's good, everyone's bad. But you gotta know where to stop. Now, I have to go to bed because it's almost 4 a.m. But I love you, my beautiful darlings. I'll speak to you another time. And as I said, this video a lot was an answer to Morg, but it was also an answer to maybe some other questions others have, or it was something others needed to hear. I'm not afraid to express my opinions. I'm not afraid to admit my good side or my bad. Yes, I am still managing to balance my dark and light, but it's a work in progress. But eventually I will get there. I will accept everything about myself one day. You guys do the same. If you can't do it now, work on it. If you like who you are and you found yourself, I'm damn proud of you. Whether you're a queen or a king, or maybe somewhere in between, I'm damn proud of you. Find your center, find who you are. Love yourself. Never change for anyone but you. And never let anyone tell you you are less than you are. Because, darling, we're all priceless. Know your worth. Have confidence, have spirit, have strength. And you'll get through this metal we call life. You just got to find a way to do it.